Alright everybody, we are back with another video today. So I was going to I'm going to do these as I can, because now that I'm working I don't have a lot of time to record videos, so these videos are going to be coming out 2 at a time. Um, because Greg had uploaded 2 goddamn mini videos in the last 2 days. So all the videos are going to be sporadic. Upload times are going to be a little different because now, like I said, I have a job now, and him having way too many videos. I just got off of work, so I just downloaded these 2 videos so that I can dissect them, and we'll see what he has to say on these. And I know these are going to be a little tougher to go through. I think this one was called, hold on. What was this one? This one was, no, this one's not the alright one. This one is called, let me check it. It's called This. Alright, it's called This, and we will go through what he has to say, because he's got about 14 minutes. Jesus Christ. I'm not going to be objective about him at all, because a lot of it is him lying, and a lot of it is just him mouthing off and having some bullshit reason for everything. So let's slap chop him and let's get this going.
Okay, so since I began this series, which I'm doing all at once, which is why I'm wearing the same shirt and everything, apparently I'm being left. Not joking.
Yeah, right. You've been saying this kind of shit before, and we'll believe it when we see it.
This is, I was warned a couple times if I talk about stuff publicly that I would be left, dumped, or whatever, but when things just keep getting worse and worse because you're not telling people what happened, and you're taking people's advice to stay silent, even though you just want to tell everybody what happened, and it gets this big, this out of control, you're just, if somebody wants to leave me for that, I don't want to have trouble going through my life thinking about how I didn't talk and I didn't say what happened.
I don't care. You're still a useless piece of shit.
Because while I don't feel like it's everybody's business to know everything that goes on in my life, I do feel like it's my right to tell people what went on in my life. I feel like that is my own personal right to let people know. And it really sucks that people want to leave me for that. For telling.
Oh, you started off with your manipulation and whiny bullshit about your spouse is gonna leave you. Whoa, shut up.
Telling people that, but to tell the other side of the story, we're talking about a person who wants to live a dramatic.
So hold on. From what I was seeing all over Twitter, apparently he is admitting to grooming. So we'll see about what he says, as I know those are in the most recent videos. From what people have said. So
Free life, like no drama. And when they're repeatedly subjected to drama, they don't want to put up with that anymore, which is why they didn't want me to talk about stuff.
I don't care.
They don't like drama. I don't like drama, but I like talking things through so everyone understands each other, or at least, has heard both sides. Anyway, I'm continuing because, I am who I am, and I gotta just tell people what happened in my life and move on with my life. That's, I think that's the healthy thing to do. I think
he's not moved on, apparently.
I think it's the only option for me, as far as being a Scorpio or whatever it goes.
Don't you dare! We do not accept you. I'm a Scorpio myself. I do not accept you as a Scorpio. Fuck you.
So to get back to Billie, when I talked about Shiloh, I talked about pathological lying, and I talked about numerous potential mental disorders that I can't identify myself. I'm not a professional in that regard.
Then it was just a stupid thing for you to even talk about. If you can't identify it yourself, then why are you saying that they might have it? You're just trying to scare people with it, so shut the fuck up.
But with Billie, I don't think there's much there. I think that Billie is a relatively competent, intelligent person. She even took, not that online IQ tests matter, but she took an IQ test in front of me and it was 126 or 128, something like that. So that's relatively intelligent, but IQ tests aren't necessarily always accurate. My point being is that at numerous points, I remember multiple times that Billie had lied to me, lied to my face. There was
So you lied to so what? You lie to everybody else's face, but it's okay when you do it?
a policy with her, and I say policy like, hey, policy is no cheating on me, like that's a policy in a relationship.
Well, here's the thing. Billie wasn't supposed to be yours relationship to have, dick.
Just don't do it. People said there was contracts, but the contracts were to be nice to each other. So
you shouldn't even have contracts to begin with, asshole.
I mean, if you ever see the contracts, you'll see they say be nice to each other, don't get jealous, talk about things. There's even a thing where we said that if you have a problem with someone, you just sit them down with some tea.
Yes.
Stop, Siri.
Okay.
There is a thing where you gotta sit
That was a weird flex.
down with them and talk to them over tea to resolve your issues. That was like a household thing that we all agreed upon. So people make things seem worse than they are a lot. And, they have their reasons. More views, more clicks, more money, whatever. But no, Billie, I don't think there's much wrong with her. And I have every reason to say that there is something wrong with her. But
no, you don't.
The reason that we broke up so many times, she never broke up with me once. I think she made...
The relationship wasn't even supposed to be yours to begin with, dick. As I said a minute ago, it's not even supposed to be yours, so stop trying to bring that up. You forced yourself into the relationship, like you always do.
I may have broken up with my husband once, but she never broke up with me once. I broke up with her, I think like 6 times, 7 times, something like that. Maybe it was 4 or 5, so a lot.
You're lying, dude. Just stop lying. Jesus Christ. You can't even pinpoint an exact number.
However many. I broke up with her for lying to me at one point. I broke up with her for using illegal drugs at one point.
Smoking weed is not an illegal drug, dickhead. Stop saying illegal drug like you fucking know, and I paused that at 4:20. Anyway, we're gonna get back onto this.
Points. Illegal in her area, not illegal in mine. So I didn't have like a big thing where I was like, hey, you can't do pot here. I had a thing where, hey, you can't do illegal drugs, period. So around me, marijuana, not a big deal. If there's toddlers or something around, you can't be smoking around toddlers. There's stuff like that, but no strict forbidden thing if it's legal. Because we respect the law, we want to be on the good side of the law.
If you respected the law, you would have brought a lawyer to your recent shit show that you tried to do, and if you respected the law at all, you wouldn't have those cameras off of your property like you do. So bullshit about you respecting the law.
And
lie counter. Ding!
Anyway, so I did that with Billie, and Billie would continuously do illegal drugs because she was in, I think, Vermont or Virginia.
It's not illegal in Vermont, dumbass.
Virginia or something, I don't know.
Or Virginia, it's not illegal there either. There are certain places that it's legal if you have a medical card. So, get bent.
She was in a state, Vermont, isn't that a city? She was in Virginia, I think.
You're a moron. Vermont is not a city. Vermont is a state, idiot.
Where it's illegal to do those drugs.
No, it's not.
And she did them repeatedly. She admitted that she did them repeatedly. And a lot of people don't care about that, but it's the legal factor I care about.
Then don't say anything, you fucking asshole.
It sucks to do that, to subject others to potentially getting arrested because they're associated with you, stuff
Fuck off.
like that.
You sound like a fucking Southborough, Westboro Baptist church leader, okay?
Who knows what happens when you get into the drug life. I saw on a live stream someone was talking about where the cocaine was. And she got this face expression like, oh my god, did he just say cocaine? Like, she was like embarrassed by it. And, because it's on a live stream. But that kind of told me, who she's hanging out with. That aside, like, I don't think she's insane. Pretty sure she doesn't have BPD or anything like that. Pretty sure she's a pretty normal person. Although when she did get caught at one point in her lie, and this kind of tells you like what I went through and why it was a struggle. So like, because I felt love for this person so much, and then I would be disappointed by some lie or some illegal act, and then have to just basically walk away. And it was frustrating for me. But something.
But if it was illegal with her, why didn't you call the police on her? You called the police on Shiloh, and she was probably just knocking on your door, trying to get her to let her in. But no, you didn't do that with Billie because, well, for some reason you're a moron. So every little thing affects your life. It's like the least amount of problem affects your life to a point that you would rather see them hauled away in a police car or film them, because for what reason? I don't know. Are you going to talk about the fact that you were going to force her to do some crazy act to get on your good side? Are you going to talk about that? Probably not.
That happened was she had been making out, as I discussed in the previous video, with me so often, and apparently between Kai, Sarah, and Billie, they had a sit down with Billie, and Sarah was platonic, very, 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 I cannot emphasize enough, platonic, and that we didn't have any relationship with her other than she's just a friend that hung around the house.
Now keep this in mind. He said very platonic thing. Like he's trying to emphasize it so hard that he doesn't want to seem like he's out. But he admits to it later on, apparently, from what I've seen, that he actually admitted to grooming her. So yeah, this is exactly him basically lying. And Greg, if I know you're gonna watch my videos, so please stop copyright claiming my videos, please, because this isn't me stealing your video for my own benefit. This is me responding to your video, because I know how you like to screw people over with copyright claims. So please stop.
And this is in Puyallup, Washington. But Sarah, as a friend, sat down with Billie and Kai, and they all talked about an agreement, secret agreement, behind my back. Nobody told me. And the reason they had this is because I had a conversation with my husband about me wanting to be a perfect polyamorous relationship where I could do anything with either person and they could do anything with themselves, or each other, I mean, and nobody would get jealous or insecure or anything like that. And so when they...
So you basically forcing yourself into a relationship that wasn't even yours to be forced into at this point. So we know you're a fucking dick like that.
They sat down and had this discussion. Nobody told me. But the agreement was that Billie was not supposed to be kissing me away from Kai. Billie was not supposed to be sleeping with me or anything like that away from Kai. And that was just a group thing. And this was a direct response to me sitting Kai down and saying, Kai, I want to have a perfect trinity. I wanted to be with everybody at the same time, that being Billie and Kai.
But here's the thing. It wasn't for you to have that relationship. Remember, it was supposed to be with you or with Kai and Billie, not you and Kai and Billie. And besides, Billie was 17 years old when you guys first talked. So, or when you guys first all met. So don't even go there. Stop going after 16, 17-year-olds. Maybe you would have less problems.
Again, Sarah was platonic, completely. You even have Billie, who publicly stated in a You Now chat that
that you forced her to do.
There was nothing like that going on because everybody knew.
Because everybody knew. Oh God, Jesus Christ.
Almost everybody. There's one person that really hates me who says otherwise, but no. They had this discussion where they weren't supposed to kiss me. Billie wasn't supposed to kiss me, but Kai could. And Billie wasn't supposed to sleep with me alone, but Kai could. And then when they left, I had just had this agreement with Kai where I said I was going to do everything with Billie that I did with Kai. Private or personally between us or with Kai. And Kai agreed to it, and I think that's because I was very forward about it, where I was like, I'm tired of beating around the bush. I'm tired of slowly waiting for someone to be comfortable with something of a polyamorous nature that is truly balanced. Like, Kai was comfortable with this group thing, but wasn't comfortable with me going somewhere exclusively with this person. And so I said I was tired of this jealousy. I was tired of this.
Then maybe it's poly's not for you or her. Maybe you shouldn't force someone to be something that they're not.
Threatening the entire relationship because someone's insecure. And so I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have this relationship with Billie, and I'm going to have a relationship with you, and you're going to have a relationship with Billie as you want, just the same, but I have to have this reduced stress, and I have to have everyone happy with each other. So I told Kai that I would do this, and then I proceeded to following exactly what I was talking about with Kai, where I would say, after they left to go to the mall or something like that, I approached Billie and I said, we started making out, and then it was starting to lead to a more heavy thing. And then Billie said, what about, I'm worried that Kai might be upset. And I said, well, I already talked to Kai about this. It's to be determined whether or not Billie knew when I talked to Kai. That's the big question mark, because I may have given her the impression, based on the way I worded things, that some discussion had.
So you wanted this poly relationship so you could cheat on Kai whenever you wanted to, and that Kai would be okay with it no matter what? That makes absolutely zero sense, dude.
Happened in between their private conversation, which I didn't even know about. So I just said, I talked to Kai and everything's good. We're fine to do this. And so Billie was like, okay. And then we proceeded to making love all the way. And it was a good experience in the sense that I was happy that we could finally do that as a next level in our relationship. Later on, it became clear that Billie was told, as we all sat down at the table to talk about it, Billie was told that she wasn't even supposed to kiss me, let alone make love to me. And we had that sit down because the moment Kai came back from going out, I told Kai right away what happened. You might notice a pattern where I'm constantly telling Kai what happened in our relationships. Like, hey, this just happened. Hey, this just happened. Hey, because I'm not trying to hide things. I don't like hiding things. I have word vomit, where I just say everything that
Yeah, we know you have diarrhea of the mouth.
ever happens to
You talk so much shit that it comes out that way.
To the person that I love. So, yeah, Kai comes home. I tell Kai that we just made love, and I planned to make love to Kai then. I know that sounds crazy, but whatever. Everyone has their things they're into, and I'm into making love to people who are, gorgeous, not women. I guess Kai was a woman identifying at the time, but yeah, gorgeous women who I love. And so I plan to make love to Kai then, to kind of like full circle the polyamorous relationship. And that's when Kai revealed that they had a secret agreement that I didn't know about. So we all sat down at the table, and it becomes clear that Billie wasn't even supposed to be kissing me, and I didn't know about this. But right after this agreement allegedly took place, Billie came down and made out with me. I was sitting in a chair underneath this sideways closet door, and she sat on my lap, and we made out, and might have grinded too. And again, that was a wonderful experience for me, but it was really...
Of course, it always is a wonderful experience for you.
Kind of a heartbreaking moment for me when I realized that she knew she wasn't supposed to be doing that, and nobody told me that we weren't supposed to be doing that. So at that point, I kind of realized that I had been lied to, and Kai had been lied to, and technically cheated on. If you have...
See, this is the problem with you. You try to force yourself into every little relationship that you have Kai do. And Kai is the one who picks out and grooms these people, and from the ages of 16, maybe younger, 17 when you guys get together, and then once they're 18 and they're legal age, you have an issue, and that's the big problem here. Why go after a 16 or 17 year old? Hopefully we'll get into that, but we're not, probably.
Disagreement in the relationship, and you ignore it. That's the basis of all monogamy and polyamory, is you have these agreements, and if the agreements are broken, like don't cheat on me, don't do this, don't do that, then it becomes a major problem.
Why do you have these agreements? If everything is supposed to be legal and documented and all this and that and the other, then why do you have that issue? Like, then why is that a problem? If it's predetermined, then why do you do it? Of course, you're not going to say why or show us why, but you're just going to say, oh, well, there's these contracts, or that's all about loving yourself and not lying and all this other nonsense, which is fine in a certain sense, but at the same time, when you do it like that, you try to make it seem like it's a legal binding contract when it's not. So you're essentially throwing this out there for whatever reason, for your own, I guess, your own benefit. I don't know, just because you think it's great and you have a wonderful experience because you can have sex with all these young girls that come to your house, and you're essentially admitting to all of this. You're basically throwing out an admission here without a lawyer, I might add. See, the problem with this is Greg can, the thing about law is everything you say can and will be used against you. So that's why lawyers will tell you to shut the fuck up. And when you don't shut the fuck up, and I know you have word vomit like you just admitted to, you say things that could potentially be used against you. So everything you're saying here can be used as an admission of guilt, which I believe that all of this is. I think that if a lawyer does find these videos, that they can use it as an admission of guilt, and you can go away for 10, 15, 20 years to more with everything that you've done. And the detective that's on this case can take all these videos that you've done and put it together as one cohesive mass and use it against you. So, yeah, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to make everyone look like a criminal and a villain and a victim. You're the one who's trying to force yourself to be a victim here, which is ridiculous. And you've made over 30 videos doing this shit, and it doesn't make any sense why. You say that, oh, well, my husband doesn't want me to do this, or other people I've talked to, they don't want me to do this. Excuse me, but you're doing it anyway. You're doing exactly what they don't want you to do. Like, oh, but I have my life, I can do what I want. That's exactly your problem. You do things without thinking. You do things that you know will hurt somebody. But you don't care about that, do you? Obviously not.
For relationships. So then Billie decided with Ayala that they wanted to leave the house because Billie had been caught.
No, Billie wanted to leave because she recognized that you were being abusive, and Ayala recognized that you were being abusive and controlling, and they wanted to leave. This isn't just because you didn't want them in your life anymore, or that they didn't want that. They didn't want to be abused and hurt by you because of what they had found out. So that's a big lie right there. We all know the truth.
Which was, again, unfortunate. I wish things had gone differently because, I love Billie a lot. And it was really a terrible thing to go through, to see happen. I think that was the same incident where Billie wanted to go hit things physically, like punch things and stuff, because she was very angry. And
well, yeah, she was angry at you for everything that you've done.
I gave her a club, like yay big, and I said, hey, don't punch things, just use this club to hit things, whatever you're going to go off. And it was inanimate objects we understood that she was going to be hitting, so she went to the woods and she started hitting the trees. But then I guess she decided to spell out F-U and pumpkins, and she made a noose shape, and I guess that was directed at my husband. She was very upset, as you can understand. But later on, Billie bought my husband flowers when they were still, I think, in Seattle or something, waiting for their flight time. And that was right at the time that Trump got elected. Anyway, we'll move on to more information in the next video. Bye, guys.
This is just so annoying. every time he opens his mouth to speak, a lot of it sounds like he's lying and trying to gain sympathy and other crap like that. Like, who the fuck keeps donating to Onision, and who the fuck keeps doing this? Because this is some bullshit, people. Alright, we got another one that's called Alright. This one was called This. So let's get into this one. This is a little bit shorter. And oh my god, I'm sorry these videos are getting so long, and I'm doing these 2 at a time because, like I said, I don't have a lot of time to do videos like I usually do. It's like when I get home, I can do 2 videos at a time, or at least 1 video at a time, and then go to, lay down, get some dinner, sleep, and then wake up, go to work, come home because I'm exhausted because I'm walking to and from work currently until I get a car. So that's a big problem. So let's go through this.
Okay.
Every time he says okay, I want to punch him in the face. All right, let's go and check out this because he's got about 8 more minutes of this crap.
It's a little bit later because I had real life responsibilities, but wrapping up the Billie conversation, I don't know what Billie said about me, other than like me writing to say that, I had a dream about you, I feel bad about how things ended, yada yada yada, and getting very angry responses, which sucks. It sucks, but you gotta.
When you break up with somebody, and unless they tell you specifically that they still want to be friends with you, it's best that you don't message them all the time. Like, I learned that mistake before. I had my longest relationship I had was 5.5 years, and I will probably explain that in another video. But it's been a while since I've been in a relationship. But when you have somebody like that, best bet is to let them have their space. Like, you're like, oh, I wanted my space from Shiloh, but you won't give them, or the ones who leave you won't let them have their space. So you're basically a giant hypocrite.
Move on some point, so I don't write her about how I feel bad about not being able to hang out, watch anime or anything like that anymore. Used to write her like maybe once every 6 months, like an email or something, once every 6 months, and and I got made fun of and stuff for that, so I just gave up. But the way our relationship ended, I think was right around that Trump election, and that was because she was caught not telling the truth, or at least going behind someone's back knowingly. And she flew back home, and we were talking about her coming back to be in a relationship with us again, because for some
reason you want to have this perfect trio, this perfect poly relationship that for some reason you still want to have with young girls. It's fucking creepy, dude. Let her have her life, asshole.
reason, I have this thing where I forgive people a lot, and I was still so in love with her. The problem is, as I said, before you come back, and she actually agreed to be in a hazmat suit when she came back, which sounds ridiculous, and it probably is. But with toddlers in your life, you can't risk them getting sick, and they were both sick, Billie and her friend. So Billie agreed to be in a hazmat suit around the house so long as, after a couple of days, it would all be good to go, to make sure that she...
Why in a hazmat suit? That's such a ridiculous thing.
She's not contagious. But before she came back, I said, have you done any illegal drugs since we'd last talked? And she said, of course. Like, of course she's done illegal drugs since we last talked, and I...
Shut the fuck up with your illegal drugs crap. Every time you say illegal drugs, take a shot because you might get drunk.
Said, it's over, that's it. And that was the end of the conversation. but something you guys should know, and it's already been a big discussion, but regarding the whole BDSM thing and the stuff that I was into in that relationship, I proposed a number of things, like during one of the times I broke up with her. I proposed a number of ideas to prove that she wouldn't lie to us anymore. She admitted to lying in one of her videos, and that was during a really rough breakup. But I can't be with someone who's going to lie, like she lied.
If she told you she did drugs like that, then that's not lying, asshole. She told you the truth about it. So where is the lie?
A few times, and I just needed some kind of proof that she actually cared and would actually try to tell the truth. So one of the things I proposed, and I just did like this big list of ridiculous things to prove that she cared more about the relationship than anything else. And one of them was like dyeing her hair green and getting a spray tan or something like that. Really stupid things. And then there was another one like wearing a sign that says "I'm a liar."
No. Not a sign. Get it right. You wanted her to get a tramp stamp, a tattoo of her saying that I'm a liar on her back. Don't fucking lie to your audience when we've already seen the texts.
And then there's the tattoo idea. You know, I remember love on my wrists, so I could get someone back. I was like, tattoo liar on your body, because
No, who the fuck does that shit? No one.
she lied. And so
That's permanent, asshole.
I wanted some sign that she was regretful, and she was teasing these ideas because she wanted to get back with us.
That's just fucking ridiculous. And then you kink shamed her, obviously.
And eventually we agreed upon her in our bedroom. Our bedroom was the basement, so we had a king-size bed with a pool table and a projector, and the bathroom was right there with a jacuzzi. So, you know, everything was amazing down there. I said, you know, you got to be on a leash or a dog collar with a cord that goes to the wall to be part of this kinky, submissive thing.
But if she didn't want to, she didn't have to do that. Because a sub, as someone who is a dom right here, by the way, I am one. As someone who is, the sub, if they say no to something, they don't have to do it. They are in control, not you.
Because she's an adult, and she was into it before. She was into the whole leash and collar thing. This is way too much information. I just realized the words that are coming out of my mouth. But no, it was really kinky, and it was really like cool. It's something that a lot of people who are into exploring themselves would like. Not necessarily that specific, but like, you know, some people like those masks where you can't see anything and there's just a mouth hole. Some people like that. I don't like that, but some people like that. The point is that people are into some things, and I thought that was like something all right. And she said that was fine, but we couldn't take a picture of her, and she wouldn't wear the sign around her neck that said "I'm a liar." She just agreed to the thing, and I'd bring her food and so forth. And so that was the plan, and then that didn't work out. I don't remember.
She said no, she didn't want to do it.
Why that didn't work out, but she agreed to it, and then I don't know what happened. Maybe I'll remember later. But so those were some of the things that were like really controversial, and stuff that, you know, wasn't necessarily the prettiest part of the relationship. But other than that, you know, Billie would yell obscenities at Kai whenever they were mad at each other, and that was upsetting. But, you know, people get mad, so I'm not like that shook about it. I understand Billie being mad at Kai, and I understand Kai being mad at Billie, and I understand Kai being mad at me, and I understand Billie maybe being mad at me for whatever, you know. Point is that that relationship ended after she admitted to doing illegal drugs still, and I just didn't want that in my life. So years later, Billie went to go on a live stream, and she said mean things about me yet again.
Oh, quiet.
And that's kind of something funny about all of this, is when you're looking at people who are talking trash about people who broke up with them, you gotta ask why, and like what their motive is.
No, you gotta ask why. Maybe it's maybe it's you, Greg. Maybe it's your problem. Maybe it's your fault. Maybe it's something that you did. Maybe it's something that you said. Maybe it's something that they didn't like about you. So get your priorities into question.
What are they getting out of this? And that's why I kind of like, I don't mind talking about how beautiful she is. I don't mind talking about like all the good times and everything, because that's just the full story. It's not really reasonable to just only tell like everything that makes you mad about someone, because then that says that you want to hurt them. And if you love someone, you know, you probably don't want to say things that are going to hurt them. And I've said things that hurt Billie before, hurt her feelings, and I apologize for that. And I still am sorry. I'm not trying to hurt feelings. I'm happy to tell the full story. And even though it may include gruesome details or something like that, it's still the truth. Speaking of which, there is some information that Billie had secret. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but she said I was the worst person she ever met at one point. I had broken up with her, and then I had said something on Twitter that was rude or something, and she said I was the worst person I ever met, or she ever met. And I said, I'm the worst person you ever met. Well, what about this person who did something to her, and another person who did something to her?
So you're saying that just because you didn't do that, they didn't do it badly. It all comes back to you. Everything comes back to you. All of these videos that you've done, all of it comes back to you. And you try to make everything a problem that they did, that somehow you're the victim in everything. You're always
And another person who did something to her, and these were all awful things, like probably beyond your comprehension, awful.
Fuck
and
off.
She got really upset because I just outed her about the things that happened to her. And I've got to say, I am going to say things about other people that people don't know. If it means that you're going to understand that person better and where they're coming from. With Billie, I don't think that what I said helped people understand where she's coming from. I think what it did is just made her life not good, and that's it. Not as good. But yeah, to her, it's a bummer it didn't work out. It really sucks it didn't work out, and I wish it worked out. I know that's a weird thing to say, but I was really passionate, and both Kai and I were in love with her for some time, just like absolutely in love. But we were also kind of broken because you got someone who's lying to you and someone who's doing illegal things that you can't let.
Please stop with the illegal crap. You don't know that. I'm sorry. Every time he says the words illegal drugs or they do some bad things or whatever, every time he says something like
in your
that,
life,
it just bothers the ever-living shit out of me.
Because if you can't be honest with people, then nobody knows who you are.
So what are we supposed to believe you everything that you say here? I don't. I'm sorry. I don't believe everything he says here. Like, he's got 1% of truth and 99% lies here. Like, you lie so much, dude. You're like you're like talking out of your ass at this point. Like you always do.
Yeah, anyway, so I guess in the next video we should move on to talking about Sarah.
Oh boy.
And I guess that's what we'll do. But right now, I'm gonna go...
Smug bastard. Anyway, I'm gonna get a screenshot for the thumbnail here. And, come on, close off. Thank you. I'm gonna get a screenshot for the thumbnail here because his smug face just irritates me. Alright, let's get this screenshot going here and,
take care of some other business, but I'll be right back to talk about Sarah and go where no person has gone before as far as that depth of the story goes. So, bye.
Also, please stop donating to Onision. Please. Please, thank you. Also, Greg, please stop copyright claiming these. Because these are basically your admissions of guilt here. Anyway, I'll check out you guys later tomorrow. Whenever I get home from work, I'm going to do 2 more of these. And we will we'll keep doing these until he's done. And Who knows? Hopefully he'll say some more incriminating things. Every one of these videos, in my opinion, are incriminating to him. So, yeah. I will catch you guys later in the next video. So, peace out, y'all.